What's up, guys? Excalibur here. Just want to go over what happened last week. I was on vacation most of the week, had a lot of traveling time, did little quick plays for me, mainly focus on futures, had some good plays Thursday, Friday, but let's just go ahead. Haven't done a video. We did have a longer weekend, but let's go ahead and start. We had started a week off on the 26th right here, kind of at the highs. We had just a sideways day. We had a barely making a new high here. Well, I don't know why that's. We barely made a new high here. You can tell right there, that's that distribution, Wyckoff price cycle where you have that accumulation down here. They bring it up. They're going to distribute it. They're going to fake the breakout and then drop it. You can tell that's pretty solid, that accumulation distribution Wyckoff phase right there. So, that's what happened. It was Monday, Tuesday. Tuesday, people who played the high breakout right here got crushed. And then people who, people who took that low did pretty well right there. Pretty strong sell-off. That's why I like playing the pullback instead of the breakout. Turn some of this off. Pretty nice red volume coming down, and then kind of end of day we had a red volume. Not much on supply and demand side for a lot of tickers. Just crazy price action. So we had Monday sideways, Tuesday we had a sell off into a Wednesday where everyone was expecting a move, and it did not happen. Powell talked pre-market, and we just stayed sideways. We still need to get past that this coming Tuesday. It's going to be a lot of volume, in this area. We pushed past that. We could get to this little base drop, and then, we could possibly hit up again. But right now, this was our main watch. From this drop, we had this 4-hour up here, which we did not hit, but we do have a lot of selling pressure right here that we should be able to fill up. But you can tell we just sideways. We've had this like kind of this sideways action where we drop below, drop high. Pretty tough to play on supply and demand, but you can tell we kind of hit it here on the 30th open. If we break it down, let's see if we could see where our top was. We kind of had a drop base. We based here, and then we dropped pretty strong. We came up to here, dropped again, kind of broke above it. But it's definitely hard to play this. This is not the best price action right here. You tell, just consolidation. We came back up to consolidation. We're able to fall again. Came up, fell, came up, fell, came up. But I believe Friday we had that put. If we break it down, we did an hour. Did we do hour? Yeah, we did an hour. We had the strong push. So this is our supply. I really don't like the supply because the main thing is, did we break structure? We did a little bit right here. Remember, our structure is, swing up, down, and then we start headed back up. So the main thing is you want to break higher lows and higher highs, because the main thing is, side note here, come back up here, your upwards phase looks like this. So a lot of people like to put kind of demands here. Look, we bounced here once, But did we break above that structure right here? We did. But, you know, if we did like this, you know, if we were able to bounce once, twice, you know, let's just say we bounced three times there, and we continued, and then we just fell. This is a weak demand because we were able to break that structure. We did, you know, some people, I see a lot of people on Twitter putting like, oh, we bounced from this area six times. You know, two, three times, that means we're going to bounce again. No, it just becomes weaker. So I like to see that breaker structure when I get into supply and demands right there. So we did break here, but I would love to see this demand. I would love to see it break this structure, and that's what's going to make it really, really strong. We had the 4 hour here. We were able to break. So, you know, coming back into it, this was a nice spot to get long. We got a couple weeks out. You say, oh, we pushed up pretty strong here. You know, we're able to push 3%. When we get back to this price, we're going to push again. And, you know, if you go, even if you get here at 3764 and you sell out here, you know, you did pretty well. I mean, it came down red a little bit, but with a farther out option, you want to get nice. But that's when you want to break it down into kind of the lower time frame. You want to see where, you know, this was the overnight session, so it was kind of sideways, but you could tell where buyers coming in. Every time we came down here, buyers were coming in. 3 o'clock, big wick up. 4 o'clock, big wick up. So, I mean, basically, you don't want, anytime we came down here, it was a good spot to buy. Keep your stop loss at 730, 740. So that was our 4 hour at bottom, which we could have caught a nice long into it. And then, you know, this is what I caught on my short, which was this 1 hour after that rally, we had a drop. It was weak because look, we had that drop, but were we able to break this structure right here? No, we weren't. So that's why we weren't able to, you know, that's why eventually look, it broke through. So it's weak, so it's definitely a little challenging, but I know we had this a lot of volume up here. So when we hit these hard volume spots, it's gonna be hard to get through. So I was like, okay, we might have possible rejection first. So we had that 1 hour here where we had that sell off. Then we came back up. We got pretty solid rejection. Were we able to break that structure? No. We had to break down below 37.45. So that's when you're like, okay, what are we doing now? We're making higher lows. You know, higher low here, higher low. You know, if you break it down into a smaller time frame, you can tell we keep making these higher lows. And you don't want to, you really don't want to get into puts when we're starting to do this. You know, here's a red candle where we're able to get past this little low. No. So it was a good time to go long until we break those higher lows. That's kind of like a good thing. But right there was a nice, I'm kind of rambling on all about this, but right here was a nice rejection there. And this was kind of like a little small squeeze we had kind of end of day. You tell right here, we kept pushing this area. 1, 2, 3, like 4 rejections, and that's where we broke up. Look how it came down and retested it. So that's why I kind of like watching these. Is you have 1, 2, 3. You know, this is kind of your ascending triangle. And then you have that beautiful retest and continuation up. Overall on the weekly ES, futures just opened, but we are close to our, but futures do open. So I'm actually looking to trade some futures tonight. But overall weekly, not the best. Monthly just started, quarter just started. So let's see what happens there. Nasdaq, definitely a little bit weaker. Gonna be a little bit weaker with inflation. Not really gonna go on much about Nasdaq as it's pretty much the same as ES. VIX, definitely keep a watch on VIX. We could drop that 2478, but I would, the main watch on here is this huge downtrend. We're kind of in this huge triangle actually too. Apple, I'm seeing a lot of people going bullish on Apple. Not much as I see into it until we break over to kind of this pivot here at 143. 143 is going to be definitely a key level. I'm going to mark that up. 43 key. You can tell that was where our rejection was. Hopefully we can start curving up, hit that, push up to that 147. AMD was just ugly. This was a crazy ugly week for AMD. You could tell we had this kind of this broad information going on, and we could even went like this, I think, like what I had before. The fake breakdown that we broke down, kind of retested it, and then we just continued down. Semiconductors are really weak. Usually, if semis are weak, market's weak. A lot of people are seeing AMD. I think AMD is a great long term. I mean, this area right now where it's at is kind of a need to hold. We're kind of getting at a little desperate spot. We kind of broke below, kind of like 72 and a half. I mean, this thing, we're at a major support, major support, major support, major support right here. We came back down. Meta, I wonder what I had marked up there. Meta, let's go 4 hour. When we have supply and demand, we just can't get that gap fill. This 170 here seems a little tough. We had this 1 hour where we dropped, we based, and then we had a nice strong up push up with a gap. We came back down, touched it pretty well Friday and pushed up a little bit. Not really. Meta's just not. Meta's a good day trade, quick scalp day trade to look at. Microsoft, compared to most stocks, this looks pretty strong. You can tell most of these stocks, especially tech stocks, have taken a little drop. Microsoft definitely keeping a little strong. You can tell our 4 hour, where did we drop pretty strong? Dropped here. And look at that. This was on the 27th. This was, beginning of the week. There's your base. We based for a while right here, dropped. We came back, touched it, dropped. So we had one touch. So possibly if we break through that, we could break through, hit 276. Nvidia, just like AMD, just another. This thing was super weak. We caught a nice put on it. Tried getting a call on it too, didn't work. But the put was very nice. So this is something I really like to look at, is we have this, you have a strong drop and then kind of base, but look at this overnight. So overnight we gapped. So we have a gap down and then we broke this previous day's low, previous structure. Pretty strong. This is a strong break too. So that's, one, it's a supply. Two, we gap down. Three, strong break. Super big sell off from it. Look at that beautiful big sell off. The beautiful buy back into it, and then as soon as we hit it, once, twice, 3 times, we couldn't break through it. That's how strong it was. Huge sell off. Had a couple gaps, but we caught this. We caught that play right here, like gap down. So this is technically a green candle, gap down, and a huge strong sell off. Caught that beautiful, pretty beautiful right there. Tesla had a nice bounce from one of my areas. Same thing. I had this down here. We didn't go. right here we have a drop, base, rally, base, rally. So we have a rally, then we based, rally. I mean, you guys don't. This is, you gotta remember, this is 4 hours. So we're in this area. This is 8 hours of price agreement right here between 756 and 748. For 8 hours, they agreed on price. So just sideways action, and then they're able to push. Buyers came in, pushed it up 12%. So that's, that's what you want to see. So we have this little um, gap up, strong push past the previous structure, previous swing high. So, what should we have been waiting for is that price to come back down, tap that demand, and push up. We hit that demand pretty well. Even after a strong sell-off at open, we hit that demand pretty good, and we hit a nice almost 5% move. Tesla, I don't know what this downtrend is. Don't know what's going on. Probably an old downtrend. I don't really see Tesla. I can see, like most stocks getting back up to this area from the 24th to 27th, where we just went sideways for a little bit. See what happens there. Amazon was a beautiful short. We caught. Um, when did we get it? We got it, I think Wednesday, a week out. Um, it was just strong against the market for some strange reason. And then we saw, I mean, it wasn't supply and demand, but I saw, kind of technicals on this. We had a, kind of like a double head and shoulders, kind of almost triple head and shoulders. So we had this head and shoulders. And then if we go into a lower time frame, kind of had another head and shoulders right here. It was kind of a little sideways. I think this is going into it, I was like, okay, I'm seeing this develop a little bit. I'm like, but Powell's talking. I'm like, if Powell's able to push the market, it pushed tech. I was like, okay, we're gonna make that second shoulder and then come down. Um, got a week out. I thought it was just all developing. If tech was gonna be super weak, we hit that huge dark pool. I think it was just like over $1 billion dark pool at 108.92, and that just caused a super sell off into like almost 102. But you can tell here's our 2 hour demand, and that's where we had a little nice push up too. 7% move after that. So definitely missed that. Upcoming, uh, very interesting economic calendar. The main watch is going to be the end of the month. We have FOMC. We have big tech earnings are starting. So Facebook, Meta, Google, Amazon, all those are starting to end of the month. And then we have the GDP quarterly, which is by law, by definition, if GDP quarterly is negative, we are officially in a recession. So I don't see it being positive, but quarterly, 2 quarters in a row are down, we are considered a recession. So that's going to be big towards the end of the week. We're going to be in like kind of survival mode. Earnings lottos, y'all could have fun with that. I might take one. I don't know, but let's go ahead, finish up with what we could see happening with ES. ES is open till, I believe, noon tomorrow, and then close to 6. So, yeah, open till noon tomorrow Eastern, and then reopens at 6 normal, and then we kick back to normal. But right now, we kind of are retesting our little breakout here. If we do have, I thought we would have like our next squeeze would be above like 38.30, 38.40, because when we start, I did a class on the squeezes is where we have a lot of rejections. You can tell how many times we keep rejecting this area right here, and then we have kind of this area too. As a good way to do just key levels. You can tell we were bouncing between this key level. We kind of broke up, and hopefully we can start bouncing between this one and then our previous one right here. So if you take all, if you just do key levels, you could tell, this is a key level right here. Look, we resistance, resistance, resistance. That we broke above. You said support, 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 support. Finally broke below. But look, when we broke below, what did we do? We tested it. Broke below, resistance, resistance. Let's see if we can break above and hold it as a support and kind of slowly wind up overnight and into the next day. I think Tuesday a lot of volume is gonna get coming back into the market. I believe the last day off we had holiday wise, let's kind of quickly do that. Was Good Friday, May, June. Oh, bond market closed early Friday. Okay. June 20th. So we had June 20th. So just mark up June 20th and see how we reacted. So June 20th, we had the same thing. We kind of had this little squeeze up, and the day after at open, you could tell we had a really, really nice volume come in at open, and then kind of just faded. But that's gonna end it for me, guys. Just doing a quick overview of the market. Let's see if we could just, kind of watching if we could hold that breakout level as a support, and then we could possibly get back up to 9,300, or we're gonna fade back down to these lows at 37.50. But y'all have a great rest of your holiday. Enjoy tomorrow night, July 4th. Appreciate it.